MK, and I am back with another Stitches and Stencils layout for you guys today. I am using this amazing sketch that is by Jen Miller for Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, Series 12. So here is a close-up and also a bunch of my little notes on there. So I've got Stitches and Stencils wrote on there so that way I don't forget. And also, too, another little note that this will only be an 8.5 by 11. So I do not plan on doing the corner upper piece and just focusing on the lower left section. So I have some more gorgeous, embellishments made by Sarah Tushy, who is Scrapbook Addicts over on Etsy. I have a bunch of Simple Stories Vintage Lake Life, Simple Vintage Lake Life stickers and foam stuff. I mean, just all whatever I had left over. I have one photo of my son showing my daughter how to fly fish. I have these No Worries sequins from Close to My Heart. I have the Lake Life, sticker book, and I wasn't really sure why I brought that in, so I was kind of questioning myself. My stencil that I will be using today is this fabulous stencil by Sandy that is it's just a circle within a circle within a circle within a circle stencil. I have no idea what the name of it is called, but it's got so many uses. I love this stencil. I'm also going to be using Fish Facts, which is from the Gone Camping collection by Carta Bella. I didn't even know that I had this piece of paper, so I must have got it from my Not Just for Boys kit club. I plan on using both sides. I have a French vanilla cardstock from Close to My Heart, and I have a couple other pieces of paper. I'm going to use this authentique piece, which is from the Gone Hunting collection. Or I don't think it's Gone Hunting. I think it's just the Hunting collection. Let me find out. It's hunting paper number 5, but I don't show you it's a hunting collection. I don't know if there's several hunting collections to be confused with. Also from 13 Arts, I have this gorgeous green from Dreamland. It's kind of hard to read some of their names, but yeah, it's just a green wood grain, and then on the other side had a pale wood grain with a couple flowers, but I'm going to use the green. I have some Vintage Photo Distress ink that I also plan on using, and then some Dilutions in Desert Sand that I'm also going to be using. So I'm going to cut my base piece down to 8.5 by 11 before I get started and totally forget. I'm going to mount my photo in this hunting collection. Now I do have to say that yes, I probably could have, outlined it in white first, but I really liked how my photo popped off the page from this minuscule little plaid paper. So I was very, very happy. It just popped right off the page. So I didn't want to do anything else with it. So I made it a little bit larger than I normally do, just because I want to edge distress. And now I'm trying to decide how to do the triangle. And I remembered where my rulers were finally. It's been a struggle, you guys. So I remembered where my rulers were and went ahead and I'm just going to rip the edges. That's all that I plan on doing. Not very much effort or thought process in this. So I'm just going to take all of my pieces, use the ruler as a guide to make sure that it is even all the way across. And that's it. There's my corner piece. Easy peasy. So I am going to use my scissors because, again, I'm being rather lazy at pulling out my large trimmer. And I'm just going to, edge distress the one edge and then put my pieces together. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is just to make sure that I don't put any more effort into the circle element from the sketch than I have to. That's just me, you guys. I don't really like doing mixed media or anything like that when it's just going to be covered up. It's always just been one of my rules. So I'm going to go ahead and, talk to my friend or my kids. I don't remember which one. I think I was talking to Janet at the time. Oh my goodness. Pardon me. So I'm going to edge distress my photo mat as well, using one of my edge distressors, my only edge distressor. I don't have multiples. And then here is where I decide which stencil I would like to use, how close I want it, how much of it is going to be covered up, all that stuff. Now, the reason why I left the photo so wide is because this is a fly fishing photo. And the fly rod, which even though you guys can't see, you see it in person if you look at the layout in person. But the fly rod actually is dang near horizontal. With the with the line between the lake and the dam behind them, or off to in the background. And so anyways, I really wanted to leave it in there. I didn't want to cut the rod off at all. So that's why it's so wide. So what I'm doing is I'm very heavily going over the edge of this stencil. And I kept struggling, honestly, because it was definitely... it kept moving, and I was like, why is it moving? It's never done this before. And not just this stencil, but stencils in general. They've never moved like this before, but I was struggling. Again, I feel like I'm brand new at scrapbooking because it's been a while. But I finally got everything the way that I wanted it. I heavily started on the edges and then went lighter in the center. And now I'm just trying to soften the edge just a little bit around my brown circle. And then, of course, I soften the edges just to give it a little bit. Now, I went off camera because my sewing machine is set up on a different table, and I sewed around it, and I should have changed the little spool down at the bottom. I think they call it the bobbin. I should have changed that from white to another color because my very first stitch, I forgot to stretch it out for paper, and it pulled through it, and all I saw was the white. So I went ahead and I did a little zigzag right on top of it, and I am not the world's best sewer at all. Plus, I had a few things kept getting in my way, and that's why everything's a little wonky. I'm just saying. But I wanted to make it look like a tree ring. It doesn't really look like one, and I failed miserably, but, I'm going to keep going with it and keep trying. And then I'm going to splatter with some Dilutions spray in desert sand, and just to give it a little bit of something in the background. I wasn't really sure exactly what I was going to be doing with this photo just yet. And then I did a few little circles on the inside to make them look like tree rings. I didn't put a whole lot of effort into making it solid just because I knew where my photo was going to go, and I just wanted that effect in the background. So I just did a little bit. Now, Sarah's embellishments are absolutely gorgeous, but I did have to alter them quite a bit to get the elements to play nice together. I really did not want to cover up this gorgeous tree ring with the cute little bee on it. So I decided that I was going to cut the tree ring off. It just hid too much, and it was too big to add another tree ring because I've got that giant tree ring in the back. I even tried to bring it in on the other side. It still didn't work. I brought in the other one. That one was too big. So I was like, okay, this is not working how I imagined it because, again, it's an 8.5 by 11 size, so I have to think a little smaller. So I pulled in her little title that says Life is Better at the Lake, and then I plan on using her little fishing basket. But I also had this little cluster that has the fly fish, the fly on it, and then a little banner. It says Big Catch and a little fish. So I brought that in. Well, then Sarah's little fish did not match that she had beautifully colored on top of her title. So I ripped it off. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I ripped it off and replaced it with another fish because they matched, right? And I've already built this little cluster. For one, they were all sticking with each other anyways. So I was going to try to make another corner piece, have more fish hanging down, all that stuff. And I thought, no, that just looks silly. I don't like that. I didn't really like that cluster being over, like the sketch suggests, being on both sides of the photos. I didn't like that because it's covering up my wood grain. You really can't see my tree ring. It just looks like a brown circle behind my son. Behind my kids. You can hardly see my daughter in there. It casted the shadow, but you can almost see it. Like I said, in real life, the photo is much better. So I decided to go ahead and make just one giant cluster over on the bottom right because I did not want to cover up any more of my tree ring than that I had. I do want to revisit Sandy's circles and trying to do the tree ring later. I just know that this was my first attempt, and like I said, so many things that I could have done differently to make it better, but I do like how it looks, and I did not want to cover it up, being that that was the whole point. I didn't want it to just be some weird brown circle behind my kids. So I decided to just have one big cluster in the lower right-hand corner and call it good. I had to cut away one of the cattails because it was badly damaged, probably just because I kept shoving everything else in the package because I don't put everything back where they're supposed to go. But I think it looks just fine. And then to help secure them, I went ahead and glued them all down. And that is my layout for today. Thank you, Jen, for such an amazing sketch to play with. Be sure to check out the 2 links down below for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And also to be sure to check out Janet Fritz and State Goddess, Galaxy Girl Creations and State Goddess here on YouTube. To see how they are playing with their stitches and stencils. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will check you later. Bye.